Hello, 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 my friend, and welcome to this episode of The Shift. Top earner secrets to help you shift your income, your increase, and your impact in your business. Of course, as usual, we're interviewing top earners, getting their top earner secrets, and today I have one of my good friends, my brother from another mother, I like to call him, rapid business growth strategist, the man with the plan, the man, the myth, the legend, my boy and business partner, also founder and creator of Infinite Success University, and you'll find out more about that later. Mr. Marquel Russell, what's going on, bro?
Fantastic, man. Fantastic, man. How about yourself?
I'm great. So I told him just a little bit. I told our audience just a little bit about you. But go ahead and dive in to your story and what brought you into entrepreneurship.
Well, first off, I got to give it back to you, man. And let me close this out so I won't have any distractions. But first and foremost, I got to give it back to you, man. What you're doing, man. Just loving what you bring to the marketplace, impacting so many people, man. And very, very excited about what you're doing. And the cool thing is, man, you just getting started. So I mean, what you've already done and what people are seeing you do is just a small, tiny bit of what's actually in store, man. So,
Thank you, bro.
Big shouts out to you, man. My hat's off to you.
I appreciate it. That's a nice hat, by the way.
I appreciate it, man. I got to get this barbershop this week, man. So, yeah, man. So, quick backstory, man. First off, as far as being an entrepreneur, man, I like to say I've always been an entrepreneur. Even when I wasn't using my entrepreneurial gift correctly, I always been an entrepreneur like my whole life. So I've literally never worked a job more than 3 to 6 months or so.
Oh, yeah.
So I've never really worked a job. I've worked a job long enough just to get me a couple checks.
Yeah.
To kind of do, dive into other ventures.
Yeah.
So backstory, man. So basically, man, I grew up, in a drug infested environment. My mom raised myself, and so even before that, and I really don't talk about this a lot, but even before that, up until like third grade, because when I say drug infested environment, people just kind of like, what does that mean? So up until like third grade, I actually lived with my aunt, right? And my aunt, she was like on drugs really bad. My mom would like to use a crackhead, but she was like on drugs really bad.
Right.
So that's what I was around every day, smelling in the house. I mean, that's just what I was exposed to up until like third, because my mom had she was real young. So I was living with my aunt till like third grade or so. And when my mom came back and got me back, so I remember waking up at night when I was with my aunt in the house by myself, as a young child. My aunt used to have company or whatever, and they, do their thing. When you're young, and people always kind of think kids don't know what's going on, right? So I was like, I knew what was going on. So I knew at that time when she had company, they were doing their thing. So I could basically go knock on the door and ask for anything. And, just go get it. Just go get it, right? So that's kind of where I was at. And I remember that. Just to kind of get me out of the way, just go ahead and get it, right?
Right.
So, and I was a young child then. So, other than that, after my mom came and got me like in third grade or so, and I started living with my mom full time from that point, I mean, my whole life up until that is like a blur. So I don't. Some people like, who was your kindergarten teacher, first grade teacher, second grade? I have no clue.
Wow.
All of that is just a blur, bro, to me. It's crazy, right?
Wow.
But third grade, fourth grade, so from third grade when my mom came and got me on up, I probably can tell you, so like my third grade was Miss Woodall, fourth grade was Mr. Porterfield, fifth grade was Miss Lewis. So I remember that, you know what I'm saying? But up until then, like, it seemed like my life was like a blur. Bro. It was crazy.
Wow.
So that was what I was exposed to. So, and you never even heard me share that before.
Never.
Right. So, and I don't know what kind of led me to share that. Maybe that helped somebody out. So, then from that point, I was still in it because even like my granddad, my mom, my aunt, not say my aunt, but a lot of my family was always in the drug trade, so to speak. So but on the other end,
right.
on the making money side of things.
Right.
So where I grew up, everybody in our environment, either worked jobs or they sold drugs. Basically, the people who worked jobs full time and that was it, always seemed to be broke. And I could never figure out, even as a child, how someone could work all week long, end up being broke, were never at home with their kids, could never help their kids with their homework or whatever the case may be, and be broke. So I could never figure that out. So we used to have a candy lane where I grew up, And we used to ask for a couple dollars to go to Candy Lady. They said I'm broke, and I'm like, I could never figure out how someone could work all the time and be broke. And the ideal job where I grew up was somebody was working for the city. All the young guys who was around me was growing up. Everybody wanted to get a job working for the city. And for those who are like, what's working for the city? That's basically when you ride down the street. And depending on where you are in the world watching this, but in the U.S., especially in Atlanta, it's those guys when you're riding on the street, you know, when you see they got the like neon jackets on, and maybe they may be directing traffic, or they may be pouring concrete, or they may be fixing the gutters, or they may be, you know, riding around dumping your trash and stuff like that. You know, the stuff for the city, right?
Right.
So that was the ideal job, and I was like, there's no way that I see myself growing up being that. I mean, even when I was young, dude, I was like, it's
no way.
I'm going to be wealthy. I don't know how.
Right.
So the only way I knew how at the time, of course, NBA and stuff like that. So I had aspirations to go to the NBA. But I was young, so I couldn't go then. So the way I knew to make money now is I saw my cousins, they were dealing drugs and so forth. So I ended up going that route. So jumped into that, started my first pharmaceutical business, a legal pharmaceutical business early on. Dropped out of high school in 10th grade. So I have a 9th grade education, literally. You know, one thing led to another. Started going to jail. So I found myself at the age of 19 having my first son. And coincidentally, my mom also had me when she was 19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, my mom had me when I was 19. I had my first son when I was 19. And I found myself in jail.
Wow.
I had never met my dad before. I had met him before, but my last memory of him was I think he was going to jail for stealing a car or something. That was like my last memory of him, right?
Wow.
So you're like, how is this dude even saying?
Right.
So that was like my last memory of him. But as I was sitting in jail at 19, I said, okay, going down the route that I'm going to end up being absent in my son's life, just like my dad was in my life. So I said, okay, I got to do something different. So I said, when I get out, I'm going to not only get one job, but I'm going to get two, because I know one job isn't going to do the trick from a financial standpoint.
Right.
So I got to get two.
Right.
So I got out. Obviously, a high school dropped out, convicted felon is going to get the best job. So I got out, found a job. A buddy of mine hooked me up at a job, working on 18-wheelers, basically. I had no experience, obviously. I always could learn fast, but I was changing oil on these big 18-wheelers. I work in the truck stop, so I was changing oil, changing tires, and so forth. And I was looking at the price list one day, and it said every hour they make about $300 off of what I do, because it was like, you know, they said 30 minutes you're out and so forth and so forth. So every hour that made about $300. I made $8 an hour. So I said, this is pimping. I can't do this no more. Every day I'm covered in oil. I mean, to the point where I used to go home and take showers, and I used to have oil still on my skin.
You can't get oil out, bro.
Huh?
You can't get oil out.
Yeah, you can't get oil out. So I'm talking about it's oil on me, man. I'm talking about I'm filthy. Like I used to bite my nails real bad. Ooh. So even all around in the inside it was just black. Ooh. I was like, man, I'm way too cool.
This is not swag.
No, man, this is not. I can't see because I remember mechanics and like my uncle, he was a mechanic, and he was on drugs, you know, pretty bad. But he was a mechanic, right? So and I could just when I saw my hands, I was like, these look like Uncle Junior. There's no way. Right?
There's no way.
There's no way. So I was like, okay, I went back to what I knew best, found myself in the streets again. But I had a different shift. Hence the name of the show, right? Because it's all about a shift.
Right.
I always tell people, it's not the big things that change, it's those small shifts that change everything.
Absolutely.
Just because a lot of people look for these big things, but it's really those small shifts. Like I love Tony Robbins said. He said, change happens in an instant.
Yeah.
The change doesn't take a long time.
Right.
Change happens in an instant. As soon as you, just like that, just as quick as, just as you make that little shift, everything changes. So I had a slight shift at this point, right? So I said, okay, I knew people who rapped, I knew people who sung, did beats and all that stuff. I wasn't a rapper or the guy who wanted to shine and be the rapper and all this different stuff. But so I said, okay, let me start an entertainment company. I saw a lot of people came from similar backgrounds as me, like Russell Simmons, you know, Birdman, Cash Money,
right?
Master P, you know, those different guys. And I was like, okay, maybe I can start my own label. So I started my own label, was managing artists and so forth. When a friend of mine, he actually saw me doing my artist thing with the different artists, and he called me to make this club one day to meet his cousin. And his cousin was actually managing a club.
Wow.
he was like, yeah, man, I want to hook you up and get you, on promoting clubs. I mean, he could give you a night down here. And I was like, well, I didn't have any experience promoting clubs. Neither did I have an experience managing artists. Right. But I was like, hey, I'll figure it out. But I didn't tell them, like, I don't know nothing about this. I was just like, okay, cool. Because I knew I'd figure it out. So I started doing entertainment, and God just always bless whatever I touch, man. It's just amazing. Amen. So we have success managing clubs, promoting clubs, managing artists. Everything was just going good. So one night, and we opened up some big artists, did a lot of cool stuff. So one night I was headed home, right, and a friend of mine had invited me to his mixtape release party, and I was like, okay, I told him I was gonna come, but I kind of, as day kind of died down, I wasn't gonna go because I got kind of tired. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and go through here and see what's up. So I just went through there and just kind of having a couple drinks or whatever. And the guy walks up to me and pitches me on this opportunity where I could make money, off of the stuff that people are already doing, make money in my sleep, and all this different type of stuff.
Right.
And I was like, cool. And the crazy thing is, I always say nothing happens by mistake. So the crazy thing is, he actually approached me and thought I was somebody else. He thought I was my buddy who rapped.
Wow.
That's who he thought I was. He knew my face because this guy, he actually went to school with the same guy who you saw in the picture that we was clowning on the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Who had the baby blue suit on.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the brother who introduced me to network marketing. Okay. Now, he's just crushing in a major, major way.
Right. So he all in Jamaica and stuff.
Yeah, he all in Jamaica. Exactly. So he basically pitched me on network marketing. I came out. He was brand new, so he just basically pitched me on it. And so I went to the thing. I seen it. I'm like, okay, I'm in. So he was like, it's 500. So I was like, cool. I was like, y'all take cash? And he was like, well, no. You got to have a card. And I was like, well, I don't have a bank account. I ain't never had an account or none of that stuff. So he was like, okay, we got to get you a prepaid card. So I was like, well, okay, how do you do that? So we met up a couple of days later. I finally signed up. My brother actually went with me to the event, and he actually joined just because of me. So I gave him a couple $100. He jumped in with me. He didn't do absolutely anything, and I just knew everybody was going to jump in just because I had a background in club promotion. I knew a lot of people. People were looking at me crazy. I went down to the club. The manager at the club I was promoting at the time, and I was about to show him what was up. As soon as I pulled up the website, he was like, "Man, what you doing with such and such?" Yeah, kind of like, this is some BS. Like, right. I seen it, blah, blah. Right. And that basically crushed it.
Right.
Because this was a guy from a business standpoint who I kind of looked up to.
Right.
So that kind of crushed my spirit in it. So I'm like, man. So I kind of just like, kind of waited off. A lot of people told me there was BS or whatever. I had called my mom when I first saw it, and she gave it okay. She checked it out and was like, it could work, if you put some effort behind it. So I was like, cool. So but the guys who introduced me to it were still calling me. I guess they saw something I ain't seen myself. And my buddy Chad, who introduced me to network marketing, who in the blue suit, he actually gave me a laptop. He actually gave me my first laptop, right? I had never owned a laptop. He gave me a laptop. So I'm like, cool. So he invited me to an event, a national conference that was coming up. I went to that conference and was like, okay, all these people are getting checks. All these people were getting, checks, cards, all this stuff. And I was like, and it was people who look like me. So I'm like, man, they could have tricked me, but they couldn't have tricked all these people.
Right.
I'm like, okay, cool. So I got some information I need to know. I came out full throttle, had a lot of success, had some rank advancements. I found myself walking across the stage at some upcoming events. And I was like on the stage, kind of dressed how I am now, polo shirt, some cargo shorts, some Air Max.
Chilling.
On the stage. Just chilling, right? I used to wear my Cartier frames back then. So I'm on the stage giving awards, and if you looked at some of the, I think I got some of the pictures still, but you would see me on the stage, everybody got on their little suits, and I'm up there with the polo.
I've actually seen one of those pictures.
Right? So not the guy who brought me in, but the guy who was a couple levels over him reached out to me and was like, "Hey man, you hit this rank, now we can work closer together." And I was like, "Cool." So he was like, So a couple conversations later, he was like, "Man, we gotta, get you a suit, man. You gotta start stepping out because now you get rank advantage."
Right.
So I'm like, cool. By this time, I had never owned a suit. I had never flown an airplane or none of that, right?
Wow.
So I got my first suit. Started having some success, and things started to plateau because now I had to understand marketing. Marketing. How do I attract people to me? And somebody on my team sent me a text about how to do this stuff online, how to attract people to me.
Right.
So I found myself online buying this course, going through this funnel, I mean, just all over the place.
The regular, right?
Huh?
The regular, right?
Right, the regular. I'm all over the place. I didn't know what to do. I had never heard of internet marketing. I had never heard of lead generation. This was all just foreign to me. But I was committed. I was like, okay, I can figure it out. Let's do this. So I just spent all kind of money, went broke trying to figure this stuff out, to the point where my girlfriend, who's now my wife right now, she actually ended up having to pay all my bills and all this stuff because I was just radical and reckless, and didn't tell her that I was at the point where my bills and stuff was behind. So I just kind of just was at a rock bottom, right? Trying to figure this stuff out.
Right.
But because I was committed, I didn't quit. My mom was down at cancer this whole time. Well, not this whole time, but towards the end, my mom was down for cancer, so we ended up, taking care of her and so forth. Now, in the meantime, I'm still broke, so you can imagine where I am mentally and emotionally, right? So I'm like, wow. So I finally figured some things out. So after my mom passed, we buried her. This is probably the toughest time ever. I had to do her whole wedding arrangements, all this different stuff, because I'm the oldest out of my two sisters. So after that, I got involved in another business with another mentor who showed me some different roles. I really cranked it out. I was already having some success in internet marketing. I had began to build a brand because I was putting out so much valuable content. And I just started bringing it all together. And things started to really click big time. Started getting a lot of results. People started reaching out, became a number one recruiter in the company, started speaking. Companies asking me to train. People asking me to teach their coaching clients, all kind of stuff. And people started reaching out, asking me about coaching them and training them and creating products and all kind of stuff. So at that point, I realized that my passion was coaching and training and creating. And I didn't really have to be a rep in anybody else's company. I could build my own thing and really empower and impact a whole lot of people. So that's really what I'm doing now, man. Coaching, training, speaking, helping other people, discover whatever their passion is and build a business around whatever their passion, no matter what it is, no matter where they are in the world, no matter the background, anything. It really showed them how to not worry about how to make money, but focus on how to live my passion and my purpose and just monetize it as a result of it, man. So that's the short story, man.
Awesome.
Of course, we could have went
hours.
A few more hours long, but hopefully that was helpful.
I love it. So if you haven't figured out by now, you probably keep seeing me duck my head. I'm actually taking notes. And I started taking notes because I have spent years with this guy, and he's sharing stuff right now that I've never heard before. So I would urge you, if you don't have a pen and a piece of paper yet, go ahead and get one, because you're guaranteed to get some nuggets that you can apply into your business immediately and start to see results. So the other thing I want to know, of course, you had many shifts over the course of your life, over the course of your career, everything like that. Share with me and of course our audience one of the main shifts that really served as a good platform or a foundation for where you are now in your success and being able to create some of the things for yourself and your family that you've been able to create in your business.
Okay, so one of the biggest shifts for me was, when I got introduced to this whole home business world, a concept that I got introduced to was personal development. This was something I had never heard of. So I got introduced to guys like Jim Rohn, Les Brown, Tony Robbins. I mean, these were guys I had never, Miles Monroe. I had never heard of these guys before. Like personal development, I had never heard this type of stuff before. Like, why don't they teach this in school?
Right.
I was like, what's going on?
Right.
So one of the biggest things from Jim Rohn, I used to sit up and watch hours and hours and hours of this stuff. I still got notes over here to the right side of my desk of notes from back then, like 5 years ago.
Right.
So one of the biggest things I heard from Jim Rohn was you have to work on yourself harder than you work on your business. You have to work on yourself harder than you work on your business, which means personal development. So there's two types of work that you're going to do as an entrepreneur. There's going to be the work that you do in business, the marketing, the prospecting, whatever it is for your business. And then the most important work is the work that you do on yourself from an inner game standpoint.
Right.
Because I always tell people, business is 90% inner game.
Right.
It's 90% mental.
Right.
It's 90% psychology.
Right.
Okay. It's only 10% it's only 10% actual mechanics, actual marketing. It's only 10%. But 90% is actually all inner game. And once you get that, everything becomes easy. So some people always ask me, why do I read so much? And I'm always ordering new books or getting new courses or going to events and spending crazy amounts of money on. Like this year, I've invested more in myself than I've ever have, and I've made more money than I've ever had.
Right, right,
As a result of it,
right, right.
So it's a direct correlation. So for those people who are always hesitant to invest into themselves, you're holding yourself back. Because this year I've got super uncomfortable and I'm invested more money into myself than I've ever had. And as a result, I've made more money than I've ever had.
Wow.
And it's just October.
Wow. Right, right. The year isn't even up yet.
No, it's not even over yet. You see what I'm saying? But it's a direct correlation. And the majority of it has been into coaching, going to events, and growing myself personally. Because as I grow myself personally, my personal value level rises, and I can serve more people. And as a result, money is a result of serving more people.
Yes.
So I don't wake up every day asking, how can I make more money? I wake up asking, how can I serve more people? And as a result, you get money.
Ooh.
You don't ever have to worry. If you focus on growing yourself and serving more people, money is a result of that.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And that was a couple of my biggest shifts all in one.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. So going off the very last thing that you said that just resonated with me and hopefully grab someone that's watching this right now is not focusing on the money you want to make, but focusing on the people that you want to help. Because once you increase that personal value level that you were talking about, once you increase that and you create more value, you automatically help more people, and money is a result of that. One of the things you do in order to help more people is you're a coach. But the what I always find interesting is the title that you have. And if you don't know Marquel is not, he's not a title guy, but this is an awesome title. I only know of one of them in the world, so I have to have him talk about it. Explain to us what a rapid business growth strategist is and how you leverage that in order to help people get the transformation they want in their lives and their business.
Okay, cool. So, and there's a couple. I'm glad you used the word transformation because that's really what it's all about. Transformation. So, one of my mentors told me a couple years ago, Marquel, if you could have everything you wanted in life by being who you are and thinking the way that you think, wouldn't you already have it?
Repeat that.
If you could have everything you wanted in life by being the person that you are now and thinking the way that you think and having the habits that you have, wouldn't you already have it? And that's a hard pill to swallow. And that's a hard pill to swallow for most people.
Yeah.
Because you have to think. You have to say, okay, there's something I don't know. And by me always, because I asked my wife this a couple years ago, I was like, what you feel like, and this is something I always encourage people to ask people around you, like, and I probably asked you this multiple times, like, what do you feel are some of my strongest points? What do you feel like some of my strengths?
Yeah.
And one of the things she told me is that you're basically easily adaptable. You're easy to embrace new things and grow. You know what I'm saying? Because this whole thing was just new to me. So don't tell me. Now I was kind of going on a tangent there. But so rapid business growth strategy.
Yep.
All right. So I'll be bringing this full circle. So a couple of things. So I'm reading this amazing book. I'm always reading like 4 books at a time. So one of these books I'm reading, so he basically talks about there's 3 types of people. You have people who are straight line people, you have circle people, and then you have zigzag people. So a circle person is the person who's always going in a circle. They feel like there's more information that they got to learn. Right. It's another book they got to read. It's another event they got to go to.
Right.
It's another piece of information they're missing before they get into action.
Right.
So they're still going in a circle.
Right.
Now, nothing wrong with reading more books. Nothing wrong with going through more courses. None of that. Okay, so I was having a conversation with my mentors yesterday. We was chatting back and forth through text message. And basically, he was like, he's invested. He was like, he's invested over $1 million just into his education.
Wow.
As a result, he made $30 million plus. He was like, I've invested $1 million at least just into my education. And he was like, a lot of this stuff was in physical format. This is before digital stuff exists.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, I've invested even more just getting the stuff that I had in physical into digital. Mm. So he went back and bought a lot of the stuff that he bought in physical format into digital. So he's invested millions of dollars into his education.
Wow.
He was like, I'm an info addict. He was like, yeah, I said it. He was like, yeah, and I was like, well, you made me feel a lot better because I thought something was wrong with me.
Right.
He was like, there's nothing wrong with it as long as you monetize 3 to 5% of it. Because by monetizing 3 to 5% of it, it easily pays for itself infinitely.
Oh my gosh.
But most people go in circles,
right?
And they never monetize any of it because they never take action.
Right.
Most people I heard a trainer say this, that out of everybody who buys products, whether it's on a webinar, product launch, event, or whatever, only 10% of those people actually even log into, ever even crack the course open.
You're kidding.
Out of those 10 people who crack the course open, only 10% of those ever get through it.
Sheesh.
Out of the 10% who actually get through it, only 10% of those ever even take
action on it.
Because they're circle people that continue to go in the circle, they're looking for something else. So they go in the circle, they never take action. Now you got, and it's just like the Children of Israel. I know we talked a lot about the Bible. It's one of our favorite books.
Right.
And there's so many business principles and life and personal development principles in the Bible.
Right.
Regardless of what you believe in.
Right.
It's a very, very powerful piece of work. And there's a lot to learn there. A lot of we hear The Secret, Think and Grow Rich, and all that different stuff. The Magic of Think and Be, all this different stuff. It really all derives from the Bible, from the original source.
Right.
So in the Bible, even the children of Israel, I think from Egypt to the Promised Land was supposed to be like a 2-week trip or something. But it ended up taking like 40 years.
40 years.
Because they were just going in the circles. They were going in the circles. Complaining and all this whining and all this stuff.
Right.
And just going in the circles. So it's people like that today. So then you have your zigzag people. The zigzag people, they're going in the circles, then they go to an event, or they watch something like this, or they listen to a podcast, or they go through a course, or they hear a motivational speech, and then they go from here to zigzag. They go up. They go here. Now they're excited. So now they're making some things happen, and I think I'm probably off screen, but when they go from here to they go up here, now they're making some things happen.
Right.
Then after a while, the excitement dies down. And then something else happens. They go to an event, or they go to this, or they hear this. Now they get excited again.
Yeah.
Now they're there for a minute, then they die down. Then they're back there. And they die down. Then they're back there. And they die down. They're back there. And then they die down. You see what I'm saying?
I love it.
So, and that's a zigzag person. But a straight line person is somebody who knows that the fastest way to a point is from point A to point B. So point A is wherever you are now. Point B is your vision of where you want to go. And the fastest way to get there is knowing exactly where you want to go, exactly where you are, and then what of those require action steps to get you there. Typically, there's only a few require action steps to get. One of our favorite quotes, me and you say all the time, and I hear you say it even more than me, is that Darren Hardy says that it's not the 50,000 things that it takes to get you to where you want to be. It's those 3 to 4 things that you do 50,000 times that'll get you there.
Yeah.
So what are those few things that's going to take you from A to point B? And then you block all the other noise out once you get focused on that. And that's what a rapid business growth strategist does. And we're actually going to we're creating certifications to certify more rapid business growth strategists.
I love it.
Basically, I feel like that's definitely what the world needs or requires. Yeah. So basically what we do is 2 things. We help you simplify and help you clarify. So we help you get clarity on what it is that you want to do. What it is that you desire. What it is to help you get clarity on what's that vision of your business, your lifestyle, your income. What's that clarity? And then we show you the simplest way to go from where you are to where you want to go. And that shows you how to get rapid results faster, how to create leverage. Like with our New Rich Global Mastermind is leverage, lifestyle, legacy. So how do you create more leverage? How do you leverage technology and not let it be a hindrance for you? Most people, technology has become a hindrance for most people.
Right.
But we show you how to take that technology and actually become a very, very vital tool so you can create more leverage. So now you can grow your business rapidly and not just incrementally, but exponentially.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love interviews like this because if you know Marquel outside of this setting, he very rarely talks. He's a quiet dude. But when you get him on the topic of entrepreneurship and changing lives, he can go on forever. He actually turns into me when we start talking about entrepreneurship. You can't get him to hush, and I love it because everybody is going to learn something. So one thing you touched on, and one thing I know you're very passionate about, is helping people realize, and you do it within your coaching program, is help people get clarity. And part of that clarity is understanding and realizing their vision. So, and you're a big vision guy. I know that personally. So, number one, explain. You did a little bit, but just take a little bit more time and explain to our audience the importance of vision. And then number two, take us through a quick vision exercise so that they know how they can implement it once the webcast is over and they actually have to start springing into action.
Okay, cool. So the first thing you want to know is, what's your ideal lifestyle? Okay, what's your ideal lifestyle? How much money do you want to make? What's your magic number that we always talk about? What's that magic number that what's that number that you require to take care of your bills, your mortgage, and your ideal home? If you're going to have a car note, if you're going to have child care, what's that ideal monthly income? It may be 10,000, maybe 20,000, maybe 50,000, 100,000. A lot of people don't realize that you really don't require as much money as you think you do. But what is that for you? Maybe it's 20,000. I mean, 20,000 a month, you can really live an amazing lifestyle.
Yeah.
Or maybe 50, maybe 100, maybe $1 million a month. Whatever it is, what is that for you? And then we reverse engineer that and say, okay, what kind of business model can we create to make that happen? So that's the first thing. What's that ideal number? That magic number. That magic. If you had a magic wand, what's that number for you? So that's number one. Number two, how does your life look as a result of that? You know, what's that vision of the person that you want to be? The vision that you have for who you want to be in the world is the most powerful asset that you have, because now you work from that place of vision. So now it fuels you. Now you're not looking for motivation and all that stuff. Your vision fuels you every single day.
Right.
So a lot of people say, Marquel, how are you so consistent? How do you create so much content? Man, you got kids, you got a wife, you got all this different stuff. You're involved in the church. I mean, you got all this different stuff. Like, how do you do it all? I get emails from you every day. You create so much blog content. How do you do it all? And I say one thing: my vision dictates it. My vision as our company is to impact positively impact 1 billion individuals across the globe. And how do we do that? By creating more value, leading with integrity, excellence at all times, and putting out a ton of valuable content that will impact more people. Absolutely. So me creating content, me doing interviews like this, me traveling to an event, I'm investing into myself to increase my personal value, me investing into others. I mean, that's part of my vision. So my vision pulls me, and when you have a vision, people telling you no, people quitting, you having technology issues, legal issues, or whatever the case may be, nothing stops you, because your vision pulls you through it, so you become unstoppable. So we talked about your ideal lifestyle. So for time's sake, let's just break that down. And before I do that, let me plug up my laptop real quick.
Plug up the Mac. You don't want the Mac to lose juice.
Right. Let me plug that up real quick.
That thing will run forever without no charge, won't it?
It will. And then once it hit that red, your computer, it seems like my computer starts slowing down.
It does. It does.
So it's like you gotta juice me up. So let's talk about it. So let's break the ideal lifestyle. I mean, ideal, and of course we can do a whole segment just on creating your ultimate vision for your life. But let's just break it down to your ideal day. Okay. Your perfect day. Because when I do my meditation in the morning, I'm actually a little behind earlier today because I did my meditation right before we got on here. And typically right after my meditation, I do my visualization at that same moment once I'm done. So we can actually do that exercise together. So basically, if you can visualize your perfect day and you do that over and over again, guess what? You create your perfect lifestyle. So here's what we're going to do. Everybody's watching right now. Just kind of close your eyes right now. Let's kind of go on this journey together. So I'm gonna actually take you through mine, and now you can basically create your own. Okay. So the first thing I do, first thing you want to do is, of course, take a deep breath, just kind of relax. So I'm always sitting right here in my chair. So basically, what I do is I wake up in the morning, um, not by alarm clock or anything, but I wake up, and I typically wake up about 5 or 6 in the morning. About, we would say about five. We wake. I've basically done it for so long that I wake up at 5 o'clock, 4:45 actually. So now I'm out moving at 5 o'clock a.m. Okay, so I wake up. I'm feeling fully energized. No matter what time I went to bed, I'm still feeling fully energized because, of course, my vision fuels me. So I jump out of bed. Well, before I get out of bed, I kiss my wife. I get out of bed. She's still asleep. I step out on my balcony, which is to the left of me. So I'm laying in my bed. I get out of my bed. I get out of the bed. I walk to the left, which is to my balcony. I open up my double doors and I step out on my balcony. It's still 5 a.m. obviously, and I can see the ocean from my balcony. So I feel the cool breeze. It's not hot. It's not cold or anything. It's like 70 degrees or so. It's always about 70. So I actually look out to the ocean and I see a dolphin. Seems like that same dolphin always jumps out at this same time of the morning. So I look out and I just see the sunrise on the other side of the ocean. No matter where the sun is setting at, I can just see that red sun just beginning to rise, the sunrise. So I just thank God. It's just an amazing view. It's just an amazing blessing to be there from everything I've gone through. So just thank God for a second. Just take it all in. Just feel overwhelming gratitude. Step back into the house. Go to my bathroom where I have the his and hers set up. My wife, of course, her side, my side. So I brush my teeth, wash my face, do my thing. Um, of course, and I back up a little. Even while I'm on the balcony, I do a prayer. My gratitude. I do a prayer, just thanking God for everything. Do my prayer. Then I go in and brush my teeth, wash my face, and do my thing. Put on I always got my exercise shoes and shorts and whatever set up. So I put those on. I step out, go out my back door, which takes me directly onto the beach. I actually got my water in my hand, so I drink me a big bottle of water. I'm just rehydrate myself from the night before from sleeping. So I go out. I'm on the beach. I actually always take a selfie from the beach where you can just see the background and so forth. And I post it, I upload it to social media. That's my morning, post to social media, just kind of showing, people the lifestyle. And then I go on my jog up and down the beach. So now that I'm done with that, I go back into the house. Jump into the shower. I get out of the shower. I come out of the shower. I go down. If my wife is up, then we'll go do the meditation together. If she isn't up yet, I'll go down to our meditation room, get my meditation in, do my visualization exercise, and then I go through my reading. I usually invest about an hour or so into my reading. So by this time, my whole morning routine has been taken care of. Now, after that, of course, I do my exercise, my morning exercise in our weight room, get that done. So by this time, the kids are up, my wife is up. We have breakfast together, we talk and chat, and then after that, we get the kids ready, we take them to school. By the time we take them to school, we just kind of chill out, depending on what we do. We just go hang out on the beach, we just come back to the house and chill out for a minute, get dressed, go out and have some lunch at our favorite restaurant, and we just overlooking the ocean from like a pier, and then we go just do some shopping, until the kids get out of school. So then we go pick up the kids, come back, do some homework. On this particular day, I didn't have to necessarily check my team yet, just yet. We'll actually check later on for this particular day. Typically, we'll do it early in the morning, but for this particular day, we didn't. So now I actually pick up the kids, come back, we do homework, kind of chill out. After we get the kids situated, I actually go off, and now I meet with the team. We've chatted with the team. We look at our numbers. So far, we've done $50,000 for the day, just from automated webinars and different systems that we have in place. Just kind of check our numbers and see where everybody is, making sure everybody's on the same place. Everything is clicking on all cylinders. So now that's done. Go chill out, hang out with the family again. Um, I go break away, have like a coaching session or two, just depending on the particular day. Obviously, it's maybe like 1 or 2 coaching sessions, and it's actually a group coaching session. So I'm talking with multiple individuals, and we're doing it like on a live stream webinar platforms. I'm actually sitting on the balcony and do it. They can see the kind of the ocean and stuff like that. So we do that, and then later on, I have an hour webinar where we do another $50,000 for the day. After I'm done with that, I go chill out, hang out with the family. We catch some movies, chill out, and then we just kind of after the kids are to bed, I do my night routine, which is planning out the next day, chilling out with the wife, and we just wake up and do it all over again.
That was lovely. That was lovely. If you're not energized, like if you're, I want to just stop right now and get to that. Like, oh man, that was lovely. That was lovely. So take that, even if you have to run this back and literally listen to each phase of that vision exercise. Let me tell you from personal experience, getting familiar with your vision every day before you get started doing anything else, seeing yourself living the life you want to live, seeing yourself doing the things with your family that you want to do, having the time that you want, it is literally life altering. Life altering. Thank you for that. Thank you for taking us through that.
No problem. And a couple key things when you're doing your vision exercise, make sure you get your senses involved.
Right.
So notice I said things like I went out and I felt the air. I felt the moisture from the air. I felt the temperature. I saw the dolphins. You know, a lot of times I'll say, you know, I smelled the salt from the ocean. You know, I'll go out to the beach. I wash my face. So I felt the cold water on my face, waking me up, brushing my teeth. Went out on the beach, sand popping up on my legs. You know, the exercise just to really get in your visual, your auditory, your feeling, your kinesthetic, the whole 9 yards, getting all that involved. That really helps it out big time.
Absolutely.
And of course, it'll feel weird at first, but it just works.
Absolutely. 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 So one thing that you spoke about before we started talking about vision is, of course, impacting 1 billion people in a positive manner all over the globe. But it's very interesting as to how you're starting that process, or continuing that process, I should say, with the New Rich Workshop. So take us through what the New Rich Workshop is, how we can, get involved, how we can attend, and just break down for us what that looks like and how that's going to help people in their business.
Right. So it's 2 reasons that most businesses struggle, or 2 reasons actually that most businesses go out of business, because of lack of cash flow and the lack of lead generation. So what we're doing with the New Rich Workshop is actually called the Ultimate Lifestyle Freedom Workshop.
Right.
And our whole New Rich movement is doing it. And the New Rich is simply people who understand that it's really about collaboration and not competition. It's about leverage, not working hard, working smart, having more free time, so forth and so on, and having tools and things of that nature. So that's really what it's all about. Creating just from nothing into something. So that's really what it's all about. So with the New Rich Workshops, we're actually going to be focused on how to help you get more exposure, how to get more leads, and how to increase your profits in your business. And you can go to newrichworkshop.com, everything's spelled out, newrichworkshop.com, and register. These are free workshops that we do, just our way of putting out more value, impacting more entrepreneurs, because I believe entrepreneurs are literally the lifeblood of the world's economy. So if we can empower more entrepreneurs, that's what's going to help create more jobs. It's going to help create more wealth, all this stuff. It's not going to be the governors or the politicians or the president that creates more jobs, or it's the entrepreneurs. It's not the big, humongous corporations. It's the entrepreneurs who really go out and go in the direction of their dreams that create the jobs and create the resources and create all these different things. So the way we give back is we help give these entrepreneurs the tools to actually fuel their businesses. So that's what the whole New Rich Workshop is about. Our Ultimate Lifestyle Freedom Workshop. So you go to newrichworkshop.com and get registered. Free events. We do them all over the place. So that's really what we're doing. And it's really all about just giving back and impacting more people and helping people create more revenue. Because the reality is, you can't really have a huge impact on the world if you don't got no money.
Right.
So, a lot of people
message. Absolutely. So we've come to actually the final part of the webcast, and this is actually my favorite part because I feel like our audience will get a lot of value from it, and I call it the rope-a-dope round. I don't know if you remember Muhammad Ali. He's famous for the rope-a-dope. So what we're going to do is I'm going to back you in the corner with these questions, and you got to fight your way out with some quick answers that's going to provide a lot of value to our audience. How does that sound?
That's perfect. And let me say one thing. Let me correct something that I just said. I said that you really can't serve anybody if you don't have any money. I should have said, and what I meant to say is that what you can do is limited if you don't have the resources, or you don't get resourceful to come up with the resource. Because a lot of people think you got to have, it takes money to make money out of different stuff. Not true. So I want to just make sure I clarify that. So let's go ahead and get into it, man.
I'm so glad you I missed it, but I'm glad you made that distinction. That's awesome. So I wrote these down because I just thought of them this morning. Actually, when I was doing my vision exercise. So, first and foremost, give us your number one favorite life-altering affirmation.
My number one life-altering affirmation. Can I do two?
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So one of them is, I'm so happy and grateful that God's wealth is circulating in my life. His wealth flows to me in avalanche of abundance. All my needs, desires, and goals are met instantaneously by infinite intelligence, for I'm one with God, and God is everything. So that's one. The other one is, I'm so happy and grateful that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis.
Increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Boy, that's big time. That's big time.
Another one is, I'm cheating here. I'm so happy and grateful. I'm so happy and grateful that every fiber in my being is vibrating in perfect harmony with God's laws. I become happier and healthier with every minute of every day.
I love affirmations. Marquel loves affirmations. Quite honestly, if he wanted to give you 3 more, he could. Because
I got a stack. I do these every day.
Right. I got some right in my book bag. Just a stack of affirmations. Absolutely. So, number 2 is the top 3 books you would recommend for any entrepreneur.
Top 3 books. I already talked about the Bible. That's definitely number 1.
Right.
Number 2 is a book called The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. He talks about resistance and what holds people back from creating success. I actually sent out like 3 copies of that a couple weeks ago to our Periscope watchers. Number 3 is one called The Big Leap. It talks about the upper limit problem, that people basically sabotage themselves when they're creating happiness or success, whether that's in relationships, business, or whatever. So that's another one. Another one that I would recommend is probably I actually just finished up one today. It's called it might be upstairs, but it's called The Game of Life and How to Play It. Okay. It's actually another one of my favorites. It's only 75 pages. Very powerful book. And I said that's 3, man. I don't want to cheat anymore, man. So that's 3. And those are in no particular order, but definitely the first 2 that popped into my head. I'm a book maniac.
Book maniac.
Like 4 books at a time.
Book maniac.
4 at a time right now. So I just finished up one today. I just added another one to that place, and I'm finishing up these other 3. So definitely. And another book, the one I'm reading now, Straight Line Leadership.
Oh yeah. Very
powerful as well.
So 2 things. You're going to be able to link up to all of Marquel's information, the workshops, the books that he suggests, everything on his show notes page, www.coachdre.com/M Russell. That's MRUSSELL. So we're huge readers, so that's funny too, because what you may not know about Marquel and I, we're always talking about, especially when there's a brand new month, we're always talking about what books did you read, what books are you reading, and what were your biggest takeaways from your books, which is funny because we both read books and we listen to books on Audible.
The books I just mentioned, that didn't even include what I'm listening to.
Right. So, the best business advice you ever received?
The best business advice I've ever received is, it doesn't have to be great It doesn't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started for it to be great. So just take action. Stop studying. Stop overthinking it. Stop overanalyzing. Stop pontificating, as George Fraser would say.
Yeah.
Just get into action. Just get into action, and you'll grow your wings on the way down. I think that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Okay. Awesome. So one thing or one tip you can give our audience to help them to hit the ground running and start to create success in their business today.
Get crystal clear in your vision. What is that you want? What is it ultimately that you want? That's number one. What is it that you desire? What is it specifically? So that's number one. Number two is get a mentor. That's the most inexpensive, least painful way to create success.
Right.
If I would have knew what I knew now, that would have been the first thing I did when I got into business. Is sought out successful entrepreneur who was doing what I was wanting to do, and willing to show me how to do it. Get a mentor, and then do what they tell you to do.
Absolutely. So we've reached the end. I'm a little bit sad because we could probably do this for another 2 or 3 hours, but we've actually reached the end. I want to thank you for all your time, brother, pouring into my audience. I really appreciate it. What I'd like for you to do now is 2 things. Number one, give us 1 tip to grow on going forward after this webcast, and also how we can get in touch with Marquel.
Okay, so how you can get in touch with me is you can go to marquelrussell.com, marquelrussell.com. And I think you can link up to me everywhere there. But I got a ton of free tips, training, resources, free gifts for you. A lot of stuff that people charge thousands of dollars for, you can get for free over there. So that's the number one way you can get me. Of course, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, at Marquel Russell, Instagram, Marquel Russell. So you can connect with me anywhere. Just reach out. I'm a real person. I like to connect with people and help people. So just reach out. I mean, that's the thing. So that's that. A tip to grow on. I'm gonna leave you with this. Let's do it this way.
He's typing, guys. This is gonna be good.
Yeah, so I'm pulling something up. So here's my tip to grow on, and it's actually one of my favorite quotes. Our greatest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Just playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will not feel insecure about you, insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children do. We're born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So my tip to grow on is step into your greatness.
Yes.
You deserve it. You have what it takes. Everything that you require to create success is already inside of you. We're already born with everything. All the tools, training, mentors, and so forth just help bring it out of you, helps sharpen you, helps take it to the next level, but you already have what it takes. And I was watching the commencement speech by the second richest billionaire in the world right now, by Oprah Winfrey, this guy named Robert Smith. I was watching his commitment speech this morning, listening to it rather while I was working out. And his basic thing was, you are enough. You are enough. You have what it takes. You have greatness in you. The simple fact that you're here right now, out of millions of sperm, now I don't want to be vulgar or anything,
right.
But out of millions of sperm,
right,
you made it.
Right.
You're here right now. So that's significant. You're here right now for this exact reason, for a purpose. You were created for a purpose. And as Benjamin E. May says, one of his quotes, one of my favorite quotes is, there's something unique that you were born to do. And if you don't do it, it won't get done. So tap into your greatness. You already know what you want to do. You already know what to do. Now it's time to do it.
Awesome. Just do it, like Nike says. So,
as I like to say,
get to it. Awesome. So, you already know that you can link up to everything, getting in touch with Marquel, everything on the show notes page, www.coachdre.com/M Russell. Brother, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I know that our audience got a ton of value out of this. And I know because they're phenomenal entrepreneurs that they're going to take this information and apply it into their business. Can't wait to hear their success stories. Of course, I'm going to share them with you as well. And until the next time, this is Coach Jay reminding you, if you think phenomenal, speak phenomenal, and take phenomenal action, you will become a phenomenal entrepreneur.